evening. Thank you for joining us for the June 21 Board of Selectmen's meeting, first day of summer. Everybody rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No announcements this evening. First on the agenda, we have a public hearing for a special amusement permit for Woody's. And with that, Corey, did you want to speak at all? And I don't think there's anybody else here to speak, so.
It's for both locations.
Both locations, yeah. And it's for band, karaoke, and acoustic. Any comments from the board on the public hearing?
How often are you going to have the bands and karaoke, Corey?
Twice a week, possibly.
Yeah.
Not going to do a lot over here at the restaurant with it, but if we want to have a special event, that's a good thing, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the sports grill, maybe once or twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
We're not open late over there. I mean, I have the right to be, open till 1 a.m., but I don't do that, and I will continue not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Most of it will be acoustic stuff. I'm not looking to get Motley Crue in there or anything like that.
Oh, that's my favorite.
It's not sorry, no one's your favorite.
How about, you get outside dining in both of those places? You seen,
Both places?
do you have outside dining in both places? Just the one up here?
I don't have anything.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, so whatever's fenced in, you're not, okay.
Yeah, I mean, what's fenced in that we don't even use
All right.
right now.
So it's not the intent to have something out in, about in those
I
areas?
guess if I decide to do something outside, I guess that would have to be a special event, which I'd have to come back to talk to you guys about anyway, I guess.
So it would be contained inside, I guess, is what I'm just, because the rumors will prevail that, there's stages being set up outside and
Right.
light shows and.
Right.
Pyrotechnics.
I mean, is there anything against having anything outside? I mean,
Other than what
Does it
that
have to
will
be
bring,
non-visit?
what that will bring in certain neighborhoods is certainly,
I mean, if I have a wedding or something outside and they want to have a DJ, I mean, I don't have to get a special permit for that or anything.
The girl to make sure that all the right answers are standing right there.
You can have outdoor events at the 199 location, but not at the Ricker Lane West Road location.
Without a special permit? Or period?
Your liquor license might be different, I can't speak to that, but the outdoor, the entertainment part, you wouldn't need a special permit to do.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? All right.
Is that effective as of right now?
We have to vote.
Okay, later on.
Yeah, and you know what? It did not, for some reason, it missed the agenda.
Make a motion that we add that item on for the vote later in the meeting.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? Okay. Um, 6:15, we have Tom for an update on the performance bonds. We're moving a little ahead of time, but that doesn't mean that you get an extra 10 minutes to talk.
Understood. Keep you ahead of schedule. Good evening, board. It's my understanding that you'd like to have an update as to where we stand with, gives the appearance of a long pending discussion on performance bonds. As you recall, back in the winter of last year, we started this conversation. The board had a directive and sent that back to the planning board. The planning board has, on a series of meetings, more particularly in February and in April, discussed some research that I have done, and it's in your packet. The first piece of information that I gave them was dated February 16th. And it talked about that whole notion of performance bond requirements and guarantees. And because we're in a new economic era, the guarantees of performance bonds are as important or more important than the performance bond itself, because if it's not guaranteed and you don't have, the municipality does not have the cash, then if something defaults, the work doesn't get done. So what that led us to was then, us being the planning board and myself, was to take it to the next level. What are the different alternatives that are available for performance bonds? In your packet, you'll notice that I had sent to the board, and also in my town planner quarterly report to the Board of Selectmen, gave you a copy, actually prior to the planning board receiving it, of alternatives in performance bonding. And so that spells out exactly what the options are. The initiative remains that someone has to choose what type of bonding the municipality finds to be one, the most fair, and also the one that protects the public the most. The planning board has some new members on it. They have, I'm pleased to report, they have had some discussions, but they haven't arrived at a decision. There's not a consensus as to what type of bonding might work best. I think we've had this discussion and debate for a long time, and based on any directive the selectmen give to me, I can bring this back to the planning board. I think there's a developing, I have a responsibility to let you know that there's a growing need to resolve this question on performance bonding. In the most recent, you have a copy before you of this subdivision that is pending final approval. The planning board most recently approved this 20-lot subdivision that's on approximately 30 acres as a phase 1 development on West Road. So this is very close to final approval. Traditionally, at final approval, a planning board then has the prerogative to establish a performance bond. In the absence of having a performance bond language that works well for the town, a subdivision may get approved without adequate bonding. In the past, as far as the time that I've spent in this municipality, I've seen that sometimes subdivisions get approved without any bonds. In this particular one, this is an unusual subdivision because the water lines are already in. So the bonding is, in this case, would be for the road improvements. A word of precaution that when you have phase developments, this is just phase 1 of a multiple phase, large-scale development, that you need some sort of protection mechanism that protects you and the taxpayers so that the infrastructure does in fact get built. So this is called Greenwood Acres, 20 lots, preliminary approval recently granted, and due perhaps in July for final approval reviewed by the planning board.
I think that, the last time that we had talked about this was in April, and the board sent you back to the planning board saying we wanted something to us by June. The reason it's on the agenda is because we're at the end of June and we still don't have a completed document, which we anticipated having this month. So I guess, maybe the board needs to send a correspondence to the planning board that this is something that needs to get done, and, you know, say that July, we'll be revisiting this at the end of July, and we need something done, because this has just been hanging on for too long.
It's been a complex issue that the town has grappled with over the years. And because of a typo in the ordinance, your current bonding mechanism is for 25% of value. In other words, if it costs $1 million to build out to town specifications a road, your current ordinance requires or suggests that the planning board may ask up to 25% of that, so $250,000. If a project defaults, then someone's left resolving where the $750,000 comes from for the completion of the project. Thus, the importance of having appropriate performance bonding. I think where the planning board may be stuck is what is the proper mechanism that works best in these economic times.
Is that something that you can advise them and come up with a document that they can go through and get to us?
Selectman Gill, I have done that on several occasions, given them my recommendation as to the way to proceed. There was a lack of consensus as to which way they want to do it.
When's the next planning board meeting?
We're hoping it'll be July 6th. Next Monday night, myself and hopefully some planning board members will be out in the town of Hollis for a joint meeting between the boards on a proposed subdivision.
Are you gonna?
So let's put something together, and I will go to the meeting on the 6th as a board's liaison, and then at least put in a plea to show that we need to bring this to some closure here, and the board would like to see something back to us, certainly in the month of July.
That sounds very fair and reasonable. And to further answer your question, John, once I know feelings of the planning board as to what type of financial mechanism they want to use for a performance bond, I can easily construct a draft ordinance.
How many options do they have?
The options are, and you have a copy of this in your report, surety bonds, irrevocable letters of credit, which I would currently discourage because I'm not sure that they're in all cases work well for you. Certificates of deposit, cash certified cashier's check. There's a whole variety of.
And you have, of all of those options, you have a recommendation for them as to which option you think is the best way to go?
I've only given them one recommendation. It's the only one that's safe and works, cash.
Okay. And they, with that recommendation, they can't come upon they can't, there's not a majority vote on that recommendation?
Not yet, but I think they're close. They've had the discussion, the pros and cons of each, and they're all legitimate concerns, both the pros and the cons. You know, having to put up cash makes it difficult for small-scale developers, but not necessarily for large-scale developers. Using a letter of credit works well with bona fide developers that are going to be around for the long term. That's the dilemma with using letters of credit, because if John, let's do a little role play here. If you're my local friendly banker and you and I went to the same school, I can easily go over and see if you'll do me a letter of credit so that I can get past this stage. If banks fold, if developers go south, then it's difficult to retrieve the monies and finish off the infrastructure costs. Mm-hmm. And thus, that's my reason for recommending that a passbook savings, or something that readily is accessible to the cash.
What's the downside of a surety bond?
Depends on the construct of it. It becomes not just an insurance mechanism, it becomes a legal mechanism as to where that surety bond is held. Is it held by an insurance company? Is it held by a third party? In these economic times, so many bonds are sold and resold and resold. So you never know ultimately who's the keeper of the bond or holder of the bond. It's a good, I think it's a very good compromise, and it's one that has been used fairly successfully. I guess what my recommendation is the no risk guarantee, okay? But somewhere in between there, I think lies maybe a hybrid, so that the Board of Selectmen and or the Planning Board, when a developer comes in from Tallahassee, you examine their capacity to perform and pay. If a local developer, who you know their reputation and ability to perform, you could have two options, and that may be the fairest way to go, because some can provide the passbook savings and have the financial capacity to do it. Others are more comfortable using a surety bond. So there's a possibility for a hybrid, and that's all I need to hear is the planning board say, let's create a hybrid that works good for Waterboro. Okay? And I think I preface all my comments by the fairness doctrine. We want to be fair to everybody, and we don't want to discourage good development that produces good tax rateables. So we have to come up with something that may in fact be a hybrid or merging of the two. So your point's well taken, Gordon. Surety bonds do work. I think my recommendation would be is to examine who that surety bond holder is. Is it an insurance company, or is it being sold off to another entity that we don't know about in Bangladesh? Not picking on Bangladesh, it just
Bangladesh would probably
might be safer.
in China.
What's the procedure if, say, the planning board can't come to a decision?
This board has certainly the right to put something together and present to the planning board for their consideration. They can give us a yay and nay, and then, you know, it would come back to us, we'd do the public hearings and whatnot, and then ultimately enact some change to the ordinance. But the proper procedure is that we present that to the planning board. I think what we're trying to do here is to say, we know that something's gotta be done, what is the planning board's preference? If that doesn't seem to be something that we can get some traction with, then I think we have to ultimately take some ownership and say this is what we believe is fair and equitable, and then start that process by handing it off to the planning board as a recommendation, and then they give us a, we like it or we don't like it, similar to what we were doing with the, well, I mean, the previous zoning changes, the one up here and for the lake and by the center, and the one that Mike did, those were ultimately requested. Well, I think we would be the requesters, right? And I don't think we should get to that point. I think we can work something out with the planning board.
All right, thank you, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Next on to the appointments. Again, we're running a little bit early, but Patti Berry, request for extension on violation resolution and condemnation request.
The board has had a request to extend the time frame to remove the deck at 198 East Shore Road for 60 days. If you consider this, it would have to be done by an administrative consent agreement. The benefit to this would be to save legal costs to take, we've already voted to take this to court, but they've agreed they're gonna remove it without us having to take them to court, but are asking for 60 days to do that. I can read what our attorney gave us for a suggestion. If the selectmen want to allow 60 days, they can impose a per-day penalty now, but suspend all but a small portion if the deck is removed within the time frame set by this agreement. For example, the penalty would be $100 a day with all but $500 say, if that's what you voted on, suspended if the owner removes the deck within 60 days. This agreement should be made clear as part of the board's action that the town will go to court if the deck is not removed within 60 days. And we would ask for attorney fees in addition to fines and penalties above and beyond that. So we're getting compliance by agreement, but I request to extend the time in which to do that.
How long have they had to get this deck done?
This is all of last year and last winter. It was the fall, 2 falls ago, that the deck went up without permit.
So we've been after them in,
Since last spring.
I think, I remember it was, had to be, was it before that, or last spring? And what we voted on here recently was, it's very evident you're not gonna take it down without some sort of court action, so we're going to court.
And I think
Right.
once they saw that in the minutes online, that they realized that there's no negotiating at this point, that we're serious, and they've agreed to remove it, and they've asked for this time.
Well, I think their letter from their attorneys just to, let's shuffle our feet a little longer and we'll get well into the summer.
Another
But,
season.
if it was, I don't know if Natalie is the one that gave you that opinion or whatever, but I would, for one, agree with that. We impose a fine effective immediately, right? And for every day that it's not removed, then the fine goes into place. And if it is in fact removed in 60 days, then
Can we meet them halfway and say 30 days? I'm not sure.
I was gonna,
I mean,
I think
that's-
60 days is ridiculous. They've had a year and a half to get this deck removed. And the attorney wants 60 days so that they can move the deck to another piece of the house, go through the planning application, and really to remove a deck, I think 15 days. When
I
they've
think,
had a
I
year
think
and a half.
Natalie's approach is, okay, we're gonna impose a fine now, right? And, if it's removed in 60 days, then we
We'll
forgive.
waive all, but
We'll waive all, but we can, so we certainly can put some sort of a different amount of days on that. But I think that we
And the
need
fine
to,
to
we
be
need
set
to
by the
impose
board.
something now that effective immediately.
appropriate.
And if you get it done in 10 days, then, it's only this much money. If you take the full,
But I didn't necessarily agree with her to waive all but 500,
yeah.
because then they're
What's
gonna
the
take 60
motivation?
days. Right,
Right.
right. And I don't know about you, but when you go to buy something, you opt, or when you're selling something, you ask for more.
How big is this
What do
deck?
you want?
Physically, how big is this deck?
10 by 24?
And they need 60 days because they wanna move it, they're gonna move it stick by stick, or,
So, do I understand that right now, it's $100 a day?
It's whatever you determine.
I mean, if we decide $100 a day, starting right now, and if they get it, can you go up? Can you say, will $100 a day for 30 days, and after 30 days, it gets to $250?
I guess
something
that's
like that?
As the board, we can impose whatever we
Huh?
want for a fine.
How much money have we expended in this so far, the town? For the legal fees and?
Very little legal fees, because it's been so cut and dried, we haven't had to
Well, we
confer
had to
with
pay our attorney, town attorney.
$32.
and now we've got an opinion
Right.
from her, so there's some additional cost, but.
When someone builds something without a permit, we don't tend to have to check with the attorney to say, we don't do that when we don't have to. So we haven't expended, only in my time in enforcing and going to zoning board, there's 2 zoning board meetings, I think.
So this is done without a permit, and it's been a year and a half since they've been notified.
And they had due process, they appealed it to the zoning board, and I don't think
When
they
did-
did come to the selectmen. They
When did the
went to-
ZBA deny?
They,
Is that does that go back to spring, or was that?
this spring.
Right.
And then they
So
have,
they've had a final, in essence, their final, because whatever appeal they had to us lapsed, right?
They can appeal to you at any time. They had 45 days from the zoning board to appeal to court, which they let
Which
lapse.
they let lapse.
Right.
So essentially, they were using their appeal options until the spring of this year. And then the weather was a factor.
This isn't that one that Glenn
No.
Charette's working on.
No.
This is,
And they have finalized theirs, that's been
that one was
completed.
the weather and this and that and all that good stuff.
Yeah, but I
This is-
mean,
They've just been fighting it up until now. They were gonna take it right to court.
they've been
So it's
ignoring-
not, it's
they've
not
been, in
that
essence,
there's,
ignoring anything that we've done.
it's not that they've made any attempt to take the deck down. They've made every attempt not to take the deck down.
then I'd make a motion that we give them 30 days and fine of $200 a day.
Okay, we've got it on the agenda under new
Oh,
business, so
okay.
hold that motion.
Okay.
Then I have, mine has to do with condemnation request. We have a property on tax map 4, lot 48A, that has an outstanding junkyard violation. That, for one, I'm asking for authorization for legal action to enforce the junkyard violation. We also have a health issue that we have not been allowed to inspect the interior of the building, which I'm asking for permission to go to court to get an injunction to inspect the inside of the structure, with the possible end result of being condemnation of that structure. But without permission to take it to legal action, that's what I'm asking for, is that permission.
Now, with the condition of this situation, cannot the state be brought into it, or have they been brought into it?
There are several state agencies that have been brought into this, Department of Agriculture, DHS, Animal Welfare. Those are the three that,
And none of those agencies have any responsibility on the courts?
they do. There's a farm on this property, which they can do in the zone, so for zoning purposes, they're within their rights. The Department of Agriculture, they regulate how it's farmed for the safety of the animals and abutting property owners, and I don't believe that either are being done correctly. There's also child welfare issues, I think, but they've been brought in, that's outside of our jurisdiction. Our jurisdiction is the junkyard and the construction of the building that they have a permit on, but I have not been able to do inspections. I have not been allowed access to that building. So that's where our jurisdiction is, with the junkyard and the building, the structure itself.
Any questions for Patty on that?
So the ordinance gives you the right to inspect the interior. You're seeking a contempt citation?
The ordinance does give me, if I'm refused entry, we have to get an injunction to force it,
Yeah.
which is where we're at. But I also want to enforce the junkyard violation. It's been ongoing for a long time, and it's time to.
All right, those are the first two items under our new business, so.
Can I say one thing about the, third, where is it, the third? I'm gonna be requesting to table the third item until after we meet with our town attorney this week.
Okay. So till next week. All right, thank you. Hearing delegation. All right, correspondence, we don't have any reports. Town administrators report. We have Nancy on the DJ again.
John's gonna cover what we want, the workshop that we want to do
Okay.
today.
Does
Do
he
you have
have his,
anything else besides that?
he have his notes?
Okay, selectmen's reports. John?
Nancy and I did go to a customer service workshop in Augusta at Maine Municipal. And the good thing about having two people go to a workshop is you get a chance to debrief on the way back, and we both were pretty much in agreement, I think, on the areas that we found most interesting and that possibly could be utilized here. In dealing with customer service, you're talking about two forms of it. One is customers, outside customers, and in our case, our citizens. And then there's the inside customers, and it's employee to employee. There were some ideas that were shared by people in the audience and by the trainers too, that I found pretty interesting, and I think Nancy had some of the same thoughts. One of them on inside would be very simple, and that is a thank you box. And anybody that has been dealing with any one of the employees that felt that they were treated in a especially kind, helpful way could get a little form and just say, thank you to so-and-so for the following service. Put it in the box. And you could do it internally too, that someone here helped you or on a tough day, a shift that they came in and helped you out, or was especially kind to you or something, you could write one of those things out. Now what they did is, then when you have staff meetings, you can share these. So-and-so, okay, let's say if you have 5 special commendations or thank yous, you can get gift certificates from local business and give them a gift certificate. And just make something out. It's all positive stuff. It's not, there's no negative things in there. There's no, you did this wrong or that wrong. It's just good, positive internal relations. So that was something that an idea that came up that we found interesting. Another, up in Lincoln, in the town hall, they get similar setup that we have here, except they have one monitor. Now when people are waiting in line, what they do is have a loop going through. So, and they say the people that are waiting in line for services really enjoy this. And there's pictures of town. There may be some historical pictures there. There's also questions will come up. You know when you go to the movies and you get, before the movie starts and you get something, did you know? And you could have the same sort of thing coming up here. So it kind of rotates through pictures, questions, thank you for waiting, and it rolls through every 5 or 10 seconds another picture comes up with another question, information that we want to get out. So that was a good customer service piece too, that they said they felt their townspeople really really enjoyed that. And then the other piece is that they talked about that was pretty interesting, and that is meaningful praise. That if you have something that just comes up automatically, the best citizen or the citizen of the month or something like that, it becomes sometimes it can get difficult in that you have losers there, or you get a feeling that this person is a favorite son, so to speak, and keeps on getting recommended for it. But if you have when you talk about something that's meaningful to a person, that's one, it's sincere, it's meaningful. Here's what you did that I really appreciate. Thank you very much, and it's very specific to what the person did do, and then there's it's personalized. So you know, you may give a thank you card to them, or call them in your office and say, I'd like to talk with you for a minute. Thank you. You did an excellent job last night at the Selectmen's meeting and the proposal that you made, or something like that. this woman that made the presentation said, you know, we really ought to think about 5 of these a month. Because, and not have it so it, and that's not 5 to a particular person, but let's say if I had a crew of people that maybe 5 times a month I find something that they did especially good. And that they did, that was, and it was something especially good with customers. Then I write them out something, it maybe goes into the box out there. But those kind of ideas were, we found, simple, not expensive, and something that really might be good for internal morale and also be good for customer relations. Nancy, is there anything I missed there that you?
Yeah, about possibly having one of the girls come down that we listened to,
Oh, yeah.
the one that did the bucket list,
Oh, yeah.
the,
Yeah. Yeah, that's, yeah, she was basically simply saying that you have a bucket, and that bucket is sometimes full and you feel really great about your work and what's going on in your work, and sometimes it's empty and you don't feel very good about it. But usually it's the meaningful praise or the thank yous and the things like that that mean a lot to people. So it's a lot easier going around occasionally saying to someone, hey, thanks a lot for what you did here. And that's putting a drop in the bucket. And every time you criticize someone or are nasty to them, you're taken out of the bucket. So, you know, we want our buckets to be full, so you go around and you try to fill, and you fill other people's, and if theirs are full, then they fill you back. So that's just kind of an idea of interpersonal relations within an organization that works on kind of a positive approach rather than a negative approach. Rather than, you know, the only time I get someone gets in touch with me is when they think I screwed up, rather than you know, people are coming up and thanking me for little things that happen during the day, and it's internally, and it's the same thing that can happen from the clients from the outside too. I will type some of this stuff up and.
the best visual was the M&Ms. John helped himself to
There are
the
M&Ms on the table.
Yeah, they had a M&M activity. They had a bowl of M&Ms, all different kinds of M&Ms, and to show that there are, there are areas where consistent experiences are important to the customer experience. You don't want to treat every customer the same all the time, as customers need to feel like they are unique and valued as individuals, just like M&Ms. Sometimes M&Ms have nuts in them, sometimes they have pretzels, sometimes they have chocolate. So it was really a good visual to have there when they were going around and explaining, and then John helped himself.
It's my practice.
Yeah, practice.
Right. Dave, do you have anything this week?
No, I don't.
Dennis?
Annual meeting of Eco Maine was Thursday. Pretty good meeting, and I think a lot of things that are going on there that will ultimately benefit us. You know, they're bordering on reaching a $20 million surplus, which they will hold as and will prevent any future bonding, or at least that's the anticipation. It's interesting, the tonnage that through the first 11 months of the fiscal year, so that would have been through May, our total recycling and household waste is down 27%. The recycling is right about where it was last year. So all the reduction that we've seen in household waste this year has been, or in waste has been strictly household waste. So we're down 27% total, 30-some-odd% of that's household waste. But our recycling has gone from 16% recycling to 28, 29% on the year-to-date number, the gross number. So pretty positive things. I don't know if everybody some people got the picture, some people didn't, but they had a contest in Cape Elizabeth and they painted up a silver bullet,
Yeah.
okay? Would be a good project for somebody to look at painting, that they had that on display. What I found interesting is that all of the waste energy sales in there amount to 5.6 million a year. And the sale of recycling is 3.5. So they're selling the recycled goods for 60%. They're within 60% of what we get for energy sales is what the recycling is contributing. So I would have never guessed that it was that high compared to the energy. So pretty good meeting. I think the board stayed the same going into this year. I think there's kind of a commitment now that they keep the board members for 2 years. So
Did they discuss the $250,000 that they're gonna give back to the towns?
there is some reduction in the local share going into this next year. Not as much as it could have been, because they chose to take that money and put it into the reserve. So, I mean, ultimately,
This was the program they're trying to do, increase the recycling, is what I'm talking about.
wasn't discussed at the meeting. But they did discuss going into recycling food waste,
Yeah.
and I think there will be an effort to, at some point in time, provide a third stream, if you will.
Like
Household
compost and
waste,
kind of
or household waste without food waste in it, and then plus the recyclables, so. But I think they're a ways away from that. I think that's just some discussion. Should be short, sweet. Is it Darrell Brown spoke on, the commissioner of the State Department of Planning spoke. So he represented the state cabinet, so to speak. There is and I'll try to get a copy of it and send it out to everybody. There is a law that was being proposed for renewable energy credits that get held over in the legislature. They didn't just can it, it's been kind of held over. And I was kind of hoping Aaron would be here tonight, because I think Aaron has really, at least according to Kevin, has shown very little interest in supporting any green energy or renewable energy efforts, so.
Now that legislation would help Equal Maine, thus us.
Well, ultimately, it will help Eco Maine in that today, any renewable energy gets tax credits or rebates or whatever the case may be. So if you're a class 1, you get buku money, gets kicked back like wind power and all that. Trash is a class 2. I think the total reimbursement, Kevin said, was $25,000. But the state of Delaware just reclassified all of their waste energy facilities to class 1 facilities, which would multiply that by 10 or 12 times, I guess. So that's the law. And the 4 waste energy facilities in the state proposed legislation, so that's still kicking around. So it would be another $250,000, David, off of the
Yeah.
operating cost, basically.
Yeah.
Which is nothing to sneeze at.
Well, it's not cheap to run the place in
What?
At some point, I'd like a little more on what I'm about to say, but we have some firefighters that are graduating tonight as we speak down at Thornton Academy. At some point, I'd like to get them in here to have something a little more formal in front of the board, as well as the firefighter that was recognized by the governor's office. We'd have to have them in. And also, I'd like to say a word of thanks to, there's a group of volunteers that have done quite a lot of work down at what we know as the Lions Field. I guess it's the Mustang Field now. We've got a big sign up, and they've done a lot of work. They've refurbished all the dugouts. They're enclosed now. They have fencing up to protect the players. They've done a lot of work on the field. It's just a great looking field down there. If you haven't had the chance to go down and take a look at what they've done, you ought to just swing in, because they've really done a really tremendously good job.
I attended the 12-town group meeting last night. There was only about a half a dozen of us here. Nice night, but we talked a little bit about the LD 1476 that failed. That was the proposal that was put forth to change the county budget committee. Talked about some of the testimony that was heard on that, and at the work group, it took them about 2 seconds to just move it off. So that's gone for now, but anticipate that there may be other pieces of legislation proposed in the future, particularly with York County Commissioners. There's a couple of them that are very eager to see more consolidation efforts in York County, and the commissioners running more services than municipal government, because they think they can do it cheaper and maybe a little bit better. So we may be seeing some more changes come around for that.
Now, did that legislation get out of committee to the general body or not?
It failed in committee.
In committee?
Yep. Briefly talked about rural patrol, and I reported on it a couple months ago, where there was some discussion about potentially capping rural patrol. There's really nothing new on that. We discussed that the Mr. Brown, the county manager, is going to be retiring, and some names were tossed out of folks that are interested in that position. But his last day in office, I believe, is in September. And then Tom may want to chime in on this one a little bit. We discussed the traffic corridor commission that Tom is a part of, and Alfred particularly is quite concerned about one of the proposals on the table that involves expanding Route 111 from a 2-lane road to a 4-lane road. And if they were to do that, it would be from Biddeford all the way into Sanford up to Shaw's Ridge. And it would involve having to take a half a mile on each side of the road from property owners. So people would be losing their homes if something like this was to come to fruition. For Alfred, their concern is that it's going to decimate some of their historic town center, because they have some historic buildings that would be in this swath to be removed to make way for a 4-lane road. Alfred has a meeting on Monday night at 7 o'clock at their town hall, and it involves the Alfred Selectmen, the Alfred Planning Board, the Alfred Historical Society, a couple of land trusts, and they invited anybody from the 12-town group that would like to attend to get some more information. And John is going to be getting some of these studies that have been done and forwarding them to all of the towns. So that was something that there was a lot of concern about. If that's only one of 5 proposals that will be in the final report.
Yeah, the real drive behind any improvement, either of that or 109 or whatever, is Sanford's desire to have a super highway right from the turnpike to Sanford. That's the driver.
The state projections, with the growth of rate that Sanford has seen over the past number of years, within 5 years, they project that Sanford will be the 5th largest, 10 years, Sanford will be the 5th largest community in the state of Maine. reports. The Economic Development Committee, Chris couldn't make it tonight. The entire EDC's terms all expire at the end of this month. I think the majority of them are not renewing, from family matters to one member would like to explore being on a different committee, to obligations of new business ventures. Just not going to be a lot of those folks coming back. I think there might be two that are interested in returning, so, you know, Tom and I have been the liaisons to that, so maybe we need to get together and kind of put our heads together and see what we can come up with to revitalize that committee. And other than that, that's it for the EDC. And Tom, you're gonna report on the 2020?
The next 2020 meeting is tomorrow night. And so what I'd like to do is, in anticipation of that meeting, share with you where we see ourselves heading. One of the things that we're going to immediately talk about, and we hope that this sets a precedent with all committees, is to work up a work plan of what we envision to accomplish over the next 12 months. That speaks to, one, our committee accountability, and also keeps us on task for achieving what we set out to do. So that's something that we're going to tackle within the next 60 days and hope to deliver to you within the next 60 to 90 days, a work plan of what we envision doing every single month that we meet. We, like most committees, are down 2 members, and so if the Board of Selectmen or the public or people in attendance tonight have any suggestions for people who are really committed to the future of the community, both present and futuristic planning, then we'd love to sit down and talk with them. John has, a month ago, gave me a recommendation of an individual, but we're looking for some good, hard-working people that will make the commitment to make at least a monthly, in some cases perhaps twice a month, meeting. This is a very ambitious year, and thanks to the support of the public who want to see the comprehensive plan move forward, we will be embarking and can offer this guarantee tonight that we will in fact achieve the energy chapter as well as the village planning chapter. And again, within a couple months, we'll be having a whole plan of attack as to how we embark on this. In addition to that, in fact, what I'd like to do is so that you get a glance, you've probably already seen our agenda, but I want to weave that agenda into something else that's critically important. To achieve an updated master plan costs money. And again, John triggered this thought about 2 or 3 months ago. John had come upon a foundation called the Orton Foundation, and asked us to explore would there be any grant possibilities there. One of the things that you'll see in our work plan is a very targeted focus attack as to what other types of funding might be available, because certainly I don't believe any of it's going to come from the state. They're cutting back on many of the CDBG programs. In fact, in time, I think within the next 5 years, there may not even be a CDBG program. So thus, what we have to do is to look at other possibilities. And again, it was this conversation was triggered by John mentioning a foundation that we should explore. And because of a relationship that I have with the Maine Philanthropy Center, which is, I've given you a handout tonight to kind of show you some of the directions that they head in. You know, there's 2 categories. If you look at that first chart that talks about public benefit and the environment, so that's 22% of all foundation private grant monies that are distributed, and granted, there's strings attached to most of them. Those are 2 categories that we can be looking at. And so part of our targeted focus this year too, to plan ahead, is to look for resource monies other than taxation would be to explore the possibilities at the Philanthropy Center. One of the nice things, it's close by, they're very well researched, and through our membership and participation in the Philanthropy Center, we can easily sort out, are we eligible or are we not? And if it doesn't apply to 2020, if there's an opportunity, for example, let's say for the land trust, if in my research I find something, I say, wow, you know, here's some seed money, or 10,000 or 20 or more $1,000, but it's really precise and it says these are dedicated to land trust, and I'll pass that on to the land trust. So I'm going to keep my eyes open for all opportunities, not just for our committee, but for other committees too. And so this is a wonderful resource that's right here in the state. They're based in Portland, so it gives us real easy access. So I just wanted to share that with the board, that the only way we can achieve getting a high caliber master plan that's meaningful and a crowbar, if you will, to future grants is to find resources other than just taxation. But we do appreciate the support that came from town meeting. It's going to allow us to achieve the village planning chapter, which is something that's a high priority of the committee. You have before you the agenda of what we're going to cover on tomorrow night. And we're also going to revisit a notion that Selectman Abbott brought forward of how important it is to get more and more of the other committees involved in what we're doing. We're at that turning point now where we've talked enough, we've strategized enough. Now's the time to move from the process to the product. So when you see the opportunity to have other committees involved, we would appreciate any directive or mandates that you can offer to the other committees, because it seems as though we're all reforming our committees, and this is a really critical year. So if you see some real active new membership in other committees that want to get involved with the master planning, let us know. And we're going to take a greater initiative to involve boards with our activities. Any questions?
All right, thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to new business, discuss vote to extend violation resolution. David, I think you had a motion for this.
Make a motion that we extend it 30 days and have a $200 fine per day.
With a waiver of any part of that fine?
There was a part of Natalie's email that was more to the top, because I had some issue with a $500 fine. I thought it was a little lenient. She said we could translate it to a $500 fine or impose a fine of an amount that you decide and increase it to some other amount, such as $100 a day after the 60th or 30th day.
So there's no penalty for the initial period, is that what you're saying?
Oh, well, we could do it in two ways. We could do, her first suggestion was $100 a day with all but 500 suspended if they remove the debt within the time frame we agreed. Which, to me, we might as well just say, here's your fine, $500, and then add on so much a day for every day that they've gone over the time that we agreed. It's really the same thing, just worded differently.
My concern is that their attorney gives no real reason why there's been a delay or why they've, in essence, flipped the bird to the town of Waterboro over all these months. All he's saying is in order to reconstruct or take down and reconstruct the same deck on a different side of the home, in order to get permits and everything else, the 60 days would give them that time frame.
It doesn't take 60 days to submit a building permit application and process it though, so that's really not.
And he's more than willing to put together a consent agreement, all right? But I guess, my put is that they've had ample time to do that. It's only now that we have taken action right? That-
And they've had 2 weeks since you've taken that action. They were informed by the town that we voted to take legal action, and they had 14 days to remove the deck, and it's been 3 weeks since then. I mean, we could deny this and say, you have a week, you have 10 days.
I think that we impose a fine effective, today's the 21st, right?
It could go back to to your vote to take legal action. It could go back to,
And the main thing is we want to take that thing down and do it fast. So one of the things that pushes that is a daily fine, you know, and if you take that fine lightly, it goes up after a particular time. So, you know, I like the idea of the daily fine. I don't know if it's problematic or you know, you say there's a $500 fine right now.
there isn't anything.
Anything.
This is what I'm asking, or we're asking you to say.
So David,
I would say $200 a day, 30 days, and it would be forgiven with a $1,000 fine. If
so $200 per day, all but 1,000 waived as long as it's done within 30 days.
Right.
Okay, and then it goes
So-
$200 a day.
So that we're right on this, is there a second to David's motion? And then we'll open it up for
I'll
further
second
discussion.
it for discussion purposes.
Okay. So,
Given the logistics of, now that they've got a lawyer involved, okay? You know, I think that we peg it to a specific date, right? They have 30 days from whether it's today or whether it's Friday or whatever, right? And it commences at that date, right? And they have 30 days from that point. That at least gives us some time to communicate back to a lawyer. Or we can say, hey, you've had time enough, and we'll go back to the day that we voted on enforcement. The issue when we voted on enforcement, we did not have a fine in association with that, right?
Right.
We were just saying, we're going to court.
Because at that time, they were fighting, tearing down the deck. Now they're not.
So I'm good with 30 days. You know, that's $200 a day, a lot of money, right? $6,000. However, if they get it done by it's Friday, we'll say, 24th. If it's gone by the 24th of July, physically gone by the 24th of July, then I would agree with David that we waive all but $1,000 on it.
So you're saying that the $200 a day starts on the 24th
Yes.
and goes for 30 days beyond that, and if they get it done within the 30 days, then they get it, they only have to pay $1,000 of that fine. And if it goes over 30 days, they get the whole fine, plus it keeps on going.
It keeps on going
Yeah,
so
until the.
that ought to get their attention.
would you be willing to amend your motion to include
The
that
date.
it starts the 24th and ends the
Right.
24th?
Yeah.
Okay. So the amended motion is that effective June 24th, fine be $200 a day. They have until July 24th to remove the deck. If they do, all but $1,000 of the fine will be waived. Dennis, will you second that?
Yep.
Amended? Okay, any other discussion?
Wasn't in the discussion, the fact that if it went over the 30 days, then the fine would
It
remain the
continues.
same?
Yep.
So the 24th of July is,
Yes, Gordon.
pardon me for interrupting, but the 4th of July is a Sunday. Okay? So the normal day of business would be the 26th. If you wanted to say that Patty has to will make an inspection on the 26th of July. And if it's not gone, all right, not only do we then go to court, but we continue to, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if it's, you know, and I would offer amendment if it doesn't, if it's not gone by the 26th, that the fine goes up.
Well, I think, you know, you can start, what you do is you can start fining from the 24th. If it's not done, if on the inspection on the 25th, it's 26th, it's not done, you started the fine on the 24th.
We could go
You know?
back, I mean, if it's not gone by the 26th, part of this agreement will say that we will take it to court, and the fines will go back to day one when we first notified. Could go back, we would ask for fines from day one.
So I think Natalie, I would presume Natalie's gonna respond to, what's his
Yep.
name? Moore. Attorney Moore.
So we have it as the 24th to the 24th, and you now Dennis saying we should be 24 to 26.
No,
No, I'm just saying that we will
But
perform
Patty
an
will go
inspection,
through
they
the
kinda,
inspection on 26.
But the-
I think we start by Friday.
Yeah.
Friday gives us 3 business days for the 2 attorneys to work up something that
So
looks
24
like
to
this,
24.
right? And then they in essence get an extra day or 2,
Yep.
right? But
Yep, all right. So we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor? Opposed? All right, very good. So you'll get in touch with Natalie to take care of the correspondence? Okay. Second, under new business, discuss vote on condemnation request and/or possible legal action. Patty's looking for 2 pieces of legal action here. The first being to take legal action to enforce the junkyard violation, and the second to seek legal action for an injunction for an interior inspection.
I'll move that we go forward with both legal actions.
well, second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor? That give you what you need, Patty?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Next, under new business number 3, discuss vote to request injunction to enforce a stop work order. We'll table that for 1 week. And is it 5 o'clock the attorney's coming in, or 5:30?
I can check,
Okay,
I don't remember. if
do you
it's-
remember?
Isn't it on the bottom of your agenda?
No.
Oh.
If you could just double check, I think it's 5, but I just wanna
I think it is too.
make sure, and just remind the board that we have a meeting with an executive session. The attorney's coming in for another matter, so they'd like to meet with us regarding item number 3 on our agenda. While they're here, we're not gonna have to pay to have them come out another time, so